Why, yes, I believe we shall.
Oh, I got a live one here.
Live from Little Rock, it's Shane Plays Radio, Geek Talk Radio, a journey into the things we love. Got a great show today. I'm going to introduce my guests here in a moment. First, I want to throw out my normal housekeeping notes. Remember, this is live Geek Talk Radio. Although it does go out later as a podcast, it's live Geek Talk Radio. You're always welcome to text me or call in at 501-823-0965, or you can tweet me at Shane Plays, ShanePlays. And speaking of ShanePlays, you can go to shaneplays.com, and the show notes are up right now. So as we're going through, there's a lot of news items today. As we're going through that, you can learn more about what we're doing, and or not learn more about what we're doing. Learn more about what we're talking about. Or if you're like, hey, I want to know more, or what the heck were they just talking about? Go to shaneplays.com, look for the show notes, and you'll see all the links to the news items that we're talking. Today is a Geek News Extravaganza with a panel of I'll call them experts to make them feel good. Experts, panel of experts, geek experts. So in fact, I'm a little threatened in my own geek level here. So I hope they don't take over my show, because they're all three great, geeky, cool dudes. So, all right. Also, this show does go out as a podcast a couple of days after the show. And that'll be on my blog at shaneplays.com, on iTunes, on Stitcher. I also push it out on YouTube. It's getting more and more traction on YouTube. I just put out an audio version. So make sure to go to youtube.com/GoShanePlays and subscribe there if you haven't already. And I've got a guest who has a YouTube channel that I want you to go subscribe to his too, because he's trying to hit 2,000 and he's darn close. All right, and last, Shane Plays is also carried on Krypton Radio. KryptonRadio.com is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi, and we're carried a week delayed on Krypton Radio. So I got a couple other quick announcements here, and then we have a cool guest hanging on the phone we're going to talk to briefly before talking to our power panel here. First, I want to announce that we're still doing the Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook giveaway, which was generously donated by show sponsor Troll Lord Games. And if you go to shaneplays.com, there's a link there to the Facebook post, and all you got to do is like and share that post. And you can also just go to Facebook and search for Shane Plays. And also, and this is linked on the show notes at shaneplays.com, or go to Kickstarter and search for Monsters and Treasure of Aihrde, Aihrde. And that is another Kickstarter from our show sponsor, Troll Lord Games, and they're reprinting their Monsters and Treasures book, which I have a copy of, and it's super cool. And one of our guests will maybe mention that a little bit. Well, Steve, go ahead. You got anything you want to say about that?
It's up and running. It's going to be a short one this time. It closes down, I think, in 10 days. So head over and hop on. And if you get on before Monday at 10, it's a small discount on early bird.
Nice. Well, I see it's already hopping. And then that, of course, is Steve Chenault, the publisher, president. What's your official title over there?
Well, it changes depending on what government form.
Official Dr. Pepper drinker?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, he always has a can of Dr. Pepper. Anyway, Steve Chenault's joining us today from Troll Lord Games. Then we've got comedian and host of Brain Trust, Michael Brown. Say hello, Michael.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Also known as the disembodied head of Orson Welles.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my friend.
What's the name of that show again?
The show is called Everything's Okay. I don't know if I mentioned this last time I was on, but it is premiering at the Cannes Film Festival next month.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Not Cannes, the other one, Cannes.
Well,
I know. They're
Cannes,
the same.
Cannes, whatever.
They're the same.
Anyway, it's premiering at Cannes
Cool.
this year, and their short film block, and I'm hoping that some people will look at it and be super impressed.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
buy it.
You do a great Orson Welles.
Thank you.
All right, and then finally we have Cody Waits. Cody Waits on No Man, who is who's a general all-around geek and the promotions director here at Salem,
That's
right?
correct.
Salem Little Rock.
I don't have any special things going on like they do, but
yeah, you're just special.
I'm just special.
You're
Yeah,
just special.
Absolutely.
All right, Cody. That's our geek power panel today, and we're gonna have a Geek News Extravaganza. But before that, I've got a very special guest on the line, and this is a shout out. We had a Patreon supporter, Garen Gillum, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, asked me to do a shout out for the Star Trek Continues Indiegogo campaign. And I was like, well, let me see if I can do one better. So I reached out to the Star Trek Continues folks, and lo and behold, I think I have Bones himself, Chuck Huber, on the line. Chuck, are you with us?
I'm a doctor, not an actor.
You're a doctor, not an actor. Hey, do you have the scanny thing, the little thing that goes, woo, woo, woo? Do you have that, the scanny thing?
No, but I make I do the noise with my mouth really well here. Listen, this is for all the listeners out there. Here. Woo, 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 woo.
Wow.
There you go.
So you just scanned all the life forms here in the studio. So that's
and
pretty.
You guys, you're all looking good. Everybody's healthy.
That's great.
It's going to be an awesome show.
Cool. Well, hey, we have a tradition that we do on the show anytime we have a Star Trek related guest on. I apologize in advance if there's any therapy needed. I claim some sort of legal defense. I don't know what it is, but let's go ahead and let that rip, GL.
Star trekking across the universe. On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Star trekking across the universe. Only going forward 'cause we can't reverse.
My power panel member, Michael Brown, looks bemused. You look bemused, sir.
I have not heard that in probably 25,
you know
30
you
years.
used to love some Dr. Demento.
I listen to Dr. Demento every weekend. And that I remember when that was on the Funny Five.
All right, cool. All right, so Chuck, tell us what's going on with your Indiegogo campaign right now, buddy.
We are at like $153,000 raised in 2 months, and I'm sure you guys have been all listening to the whole thing that's been going on with CBS.
Well, in fact, I wasn't going to bring it up, but if you want to, go ahead.
Oh, I will. I mean, it's it's the giant elephant in the room. It's the reason the campaign contributions are down. So this is actually my appeal directly to CBS. I think CBS should kick in the last $200,000 that we need to finish this, and we'll put CBS commercials on all our Star Trek stuff. It'll be awesome. Hey, CBS, you listening? It'll be amazing.
Well, now, okay, and like I said, I wasn't going to go into this, but it's actually a news item I've got for later in the show because we've had Axanar, and then Horizon, Star Trek Horizon, did not get a cease and desist, but CBS contacted and said, as a friendly heads up, we really recommend you don't do your crowdfunding. And they said, okay, we won't. But you guys have sort of the blessing of Gene Roddenberry's son. And also
That's
CBS
correct.
came to your defense on a copyright issue with YouTube at one point.
That's correct.
So
yeah, we've got a good relationship with CBS Legal. They're not going to. I think we've pretty much tipped our hat to them. We know how many episodes we need to finish, and the 350 that we were looking for would finish out the 13 episodes we want to do. And so I think they're very comfortable that, we've got a termination point, and they know that our fans are their fans, and we're treating the property really well. And nobody's like making cash hand over fist.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and again, I don't know all the legal aspects, but one of the issues with Axanar is they're raising a lot of money without specifically identifying how they're going to use it. And they just keep raising and raising and raising. And so that needs to be settled between CBS and Axanar. But, I think that now I've got at least one power panel member here that we differ, I think, a little bit. But I'm a fan of the fan films. But Michael, go ahead. Out of respect, you're here today. Do you have anything you want to comment on?
Well,
now keep in mind we love Bones. We love Chuck.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I guess the only question I have, and I don't know when I would ever have the opportunity to ask you this directly, sir.
Sure.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing the fan film at all? I guess that's just my question. Is do you feel like that as fans that you were being there was a disservice that it wasn't that there were movies that weren't being made to your satisfaction, and so you decided to do it yourselves, or was it that plus the love of the material? Or was it why? I mean, I can understand if you're doing it and you were doing it and you want to do it at the level that you want to make it as professional as possible. I understand that, but at the same time, would it not have been better to come up with your own universe yourself, take all this creative energy and create something original and then you wouldn't have all this legal trouble and everything, and you would actually own the property outright and it would be yours, and you would create your own vision and still get Roddenberry's son's blessing on it. as like a brand new
All right,
thing?
yeah, that's a good question, Michael.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead and address that.
I have to say it's really a question directed to Vic Mignogna, our executive producer, who brought me in as Bones. But I think I can answer for him, having known him for 15 years now. The Star Trek universe had a little gap in it from the end of the series up to the beginning of the movies, and that's where Vic decided to fill in the storyline, because we don't see what happens. Hey, Hampton, I'm on the radio right now. Hold on one second. I got 7 kids at home right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you.
And I ask you this completely out of respect, because I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Vic did it because he loves the property.
Right.
And he did it because, and the way I describe it, and this is the way I describe it to CBS, if you created like a game like baseball, everybody would want to play baseball. And sometimes you'd want to have people come watch you play baseball. But if you start charging tickets, like charging for people to come watch you play baseball, that's where the creators would have a problem. And to me, the question you asked about creating your own thing, I think this is sort of a farm team in terms of sci-fi series. And to be sure, when Vic Mignogna finishes this series, if other production companies aren't looking at him to spearhead something and drive it, some new original property that he creates the creative team and the writers, if people aren't looking at him as someone who can get amazing work done for incredibly cheap, they're missing a really big, like, strong right arm throwing 110-mile-per-hour fastballs. Like, this guy is able to make production happen on the cheap and make it amazing. So, that next project he does is going to be amazing. But he had a lifelong dream to make this happen. And for someone to take an idea that happened when he was, such a young kid and then bring it to this level is kind of incredible. And he's put a termination point on it. It's not like he's going to do this for the rest of his life. He's just filling in that little gap in the Star Trek universe.
Great.
Okay. I
Wouldn't the
get it.
short answer be it's not enough? There's just not enough Star
Well,
Trek.
here's like, okay, so and Chuck, I'm about to have to wrap us and move on. I wanted to work you guys in and help you out. You're a great guest. My listeners it's always one of the more active shows when you guys are on. You have an open invite, you, Michelle, Vic, whoever. If y'all want to come back on when your next episode premieres, let's make that happen. I'll give you a whole episode like I did last time. We can let callers call in.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I personally like the fan films, but I'm not in favor of people making fan films for profit. But I think if people want to make fan films, give CBS the copyright credit and do it out of love and not for profit. But from what I understand, both yourself, there's Star Trek Continues, and then there's another major effort out there that are fan films that basically said we didn't get our 4th season of Star Trek. So we want to make the 4th season of the original series. And like you said earlier, Chuck, fill that gap between Star Trek, the original series, and Star Trek, the motion picture. It's not meant to be instead of the new Star Trek stuff, right? It's a both and, not either or, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, and when you're talking about a property like Star Trek, there is so much room to play within that sport or within that property that, it's really only limited by people's own creativity. It's from as small as, you and your buddy when you're 11 in the backyard playing with sticks, all the way up to, something that becomes as well known as Star Trek Continues has.
Well, I'm a fan as long as, and I'm not implying you guys are doing this, as long as the fan films aren't trying to turn a profit. They're just doing it for the love of it. And the fan films are keeping fandom alive in a lot of ways too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Chuck, I hate to do this, man. I gotta wrap it up, but real quick, did it sound like you had a final thought there?
Yeah, I was just going to say, the part of the thing, people talk about making a profit. Whenever we schedule these shoots, we all take a loss because we all have to push aside other work in order to do them. And we don't get paid to fly out to Georgia and shoot for a couple of weeks. Nobody's making cash on that. So we take the money and it goes directly into production. Okay.
Well, Chuck, man, really, really love what you guys are doing. I keep up with a lot of the fan films out there. I'm interested to see how Axonar is going to go and this Horizon thing. But, man, have a great one. Thanks so much for calling in. And please do, let's coordinate and getting you on when your new episode comes out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You guys have a great show.
Hey, thanks, Chuck. So anyway, people go on Indiegogo, look for Star Trek Continues, or go to theshameplays.com. show notes, and there's a link there. And Michael, I appreciate you asking that question because there's probably out there people listening going, why are these guys doing this?
I don't mean to be rude. I don't think.
Well, I didn't think you were rude.
I don't think I was rude. But
yeah, I thought you were just like, hey, why are you guys doing this?
I genuinely wanted to know.
Yeah.
And it's putting not just CBS but also Paramount in a very lose situation when it comes to the properties that they own and the vision that they already own. Is this distracting from that vision? Is it adding to? I
personally think it's adding to because they're doing it in a very specific time frame.
I understand.
They can do a quality control on that.
Yeah. So
we have people do Castles and Crusades stuff all the time, and we just watch what they do. We let them do it, and we just make sure they don't.
All right, so let's go ahead. Since we're talking about it anyway, I've got one of the news items is from TrekMovie.com, and it says CBS brings a halt to crowdfunding of Star Trek Horizon sequel. Does this signal the end of fan films? So this is a natural. Cody, you have it. What do you think about all this, Cody?
I'm kind of on your side with this, as long as they're not turning a profit from it, and it's truly out of just love for the franchise or whatever it may be.
They're also getting experience in a credit, like
absolutely.
a resume credit, but they're not trying to.
Well, let's address this profit. Why can't they make a profit? If they get
I guess if they license.
If they give a cut to whoever, what's wrong with the profit? I mean, profits are good.
I have no problem with making a profit if you approach Paramount and or CBS and say, can we license the because this is intellectual property that is an asset for, right? So I don't think people should put out a major motion picture of Star Trek, charge money for it, and CBS and Paramount are not part of the equation at all. Right, I'm not a fan of that. But the thing with Axanar, and I'm going to try to reach out to Axanar and the Horizon people. The big thing with Axanar, they got like Richard Hatch and they got some other professional actors in the mix. Mm-hmm. And B, they keep raising money, and it's not 100% identified. This is what the money's going for. Yeah. So CBS is getting a little bit nervous. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Axanar. But
so why did CBS come down on them like a hammer?
There's some question about that, but it seems to be because if you go watch Prelude, have any of y'all seen Prelude to Axanar? Have you seen it, Mike? Okay. So there's a short film on YouTube called Prelude to Axanar, and it's the movie they made to pitch to say, give us more money and we'll make the full thing. And it's done really well. I mean, it's done really well. So from a creative professional standpoint, it'd be kind of scary to the big guys.
Yeah.
Two, it's raising a lot of money, like a lot of money. And they're not saying, hey, we're going to stop raising money at this point, and this is what these dollars are for, and these are what these dollars are for, and there's no profit being made here. And they're doing stuff like they're selling scale models of the Axanar ship at a profit. So there's like a little bit of a different mix going on with Axanar, right? So, Mike, I know your face. Go ahead, man. Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, when everything's all said and done, and we go to the Axanar people after it's over, after it's already been done and finished, and we say, let's see your books and see if you come up to zero.
Right.
At the end of this, at the end of all this. Then and only then will I not cock an eyebrow.
Right.
When I'm being told that somebody somewhere isn't making money on this.
Right.
Because
so you have a healthy dash of cynicism.
I tell you, somebody somewhere is making
money off this. Huh?
Yeah, they're paying themselves, if nothing else.
All right. So, well, now I know that, like, I've talked with the Star Trek Continues people before, and they almost take like a 2-week vacation, and instead of going and sitting on a beach, they leave their jobs and all that, and they go to Star Trek Continues. And I really don't think, I mean, they are covering the cost of like building sets and stuff like that.
Right.
And there's another one out there called Star Trek Phase 2 / New Voyages that's the same way. I really think they're doing it for the love of it. But Axanar, to me, looks like they're taking it to a whole nother level. So I don't know.
Well, see, here's the risk that CBS is running, or Paramount, or whoever. They let one go, another goes, then another goes, and then you got to start.
Well, yeah. So like people, that's a good point, because people will jump on, say, like Microsoft or Apple for going after people for like whatever.
Yeah.
Apple has to, because if they don't, then later somebody say, well, you didn't go after that one. Why are you going after us?
TSR in the day had that reputation.
That's absolutely right.
They would sue everybody, but you have to control that copyright.
Now, have you...
now, having said that, I think that CBS might benefit from actually letting fans make if they licensed it.
I think that personally, not from a legal standpoint, from a philosophical standpoint, I want to know if you guys agree with this or not. Feel free to disagree. I think CBS and Paramount benefit more from the fan films that are out there keeping the franchise alive and healthy and strong in fandom.
I would agree with that so long as they controlled the content to some degree.
Okay.
You can't just let everything go.
Well, and it's all or nothing. It's because as it stands right now, both possibly CBS, but certainly Paramount are in a lose-lose situation when it comes to these fan films. Paramount because they own the cinematic rights to Star Trek, and CBS because they have the television rights to Star Trek. Even though there's
it gets murky there.
It's super murky.
Well, that was one of the challenges to the Axanar lawsuit.
Right,
was like, how do you even have the legal authority to come after us? Because who really owns the rights to this stuff?
Right now, that needs to be established full on. That's number one. Number two, if they're going to do that and they're going to green light and make it like an open source property,
right?
Then yeah, go nuts. Make as many fan films as possible.
So, are you almost talking about have like the open gaming license, but the open Star Trek license?
Yeah,
but that actually offers you the perfect example of the pitfall because they opened it, let everybody do it.
Right.
By 2003, or there was a
glut,
80 companies
exactly
pumping stuff out. So it was.
And that would happen exactly the same way.
Right.
If there would be hundreds, if not thousands, of mini fan films,
and then you start losing your copyright.
And you're done at that point. And the reason why Paramount is in a lose-lose situation on this is because if they sue them, they don't have the money to pay Paramount what Paramount is going to be. Well, right,
it'd be Paramount making an example,
and then Paramount. Even if they win, they lose, and even if they lose, they lose.
Right, they're in a bad situation. I've seen some editorials basically saying there's a no-win here.
Well, who owns it? It's Gene.
Well, it's Paramount and CBS.
Okay, so Gene Roddenberry's son doesn't own.
No, he's got a set. He still has a bully pulpit, but I got to move us on. Cody, you got any final thoughts on this?
I just think that when you're producing these fan films, I think it's great for the franchise or the over whatever it is. But if you make a quality product, it's going to do well, and they should be okay with that, seeing that, hey, they put out a quality product, it only increases my brand. If they put out a bad product, it's not going to hurt them because nobody's going to care about that product and not associate it with the franchise or brand. So
okay.
That's my thought.
All right, fair enough. Great conversation. I got to move us on. In the interest of having the Geek News Extravaganza, but I am gonna try to get Axanar and Horizon on and talk to them and get their side. And I'd love if CBS or Paramount wants to give their side. I'll have them, folks. If you have an opinion on this, you can call in at 501-823-0965, or you can tweet me at Shane Plays. But a couple of quick news items. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. What we have a new Doctor Who companion. Do you have any Doctor Who fans in the studio?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got Pearl Mackie as Bill, and she looks really interesting to me. She's kind of a kooky. I don't know, how would you describe her? Out of y'all that have seen have y'all seen the footage?
I've seen it multiple times.
She's pretty funny when she's talking about the Daleks. She's like, they've got a suction cup or something.
First of all, and this is just me speculating, I don't think she's from the 21st century. I think she's from the late 20th century. I don't think she's a modern day.
So they did an Ace?
I think she's going to be the new Ace. No fooling around.
I can see that.
The whole time I was sitting watching the thing, I was like, oh, this reminds me so much of Ace. It's ridiculous. So
Ace got caught in like a time vortex and got picked up by the Doctor at some point or something. Right. So, yeah. In fact, they met. Anyway, I won't go into all that. But I think it's cool. Here's what I'm excited about. I like Capaldi. I don't think he's been given a lot of scripts that really let him shine as his own Doctor, but I like him as the Doctor.
I do. I think he's done very well with what he's been given. To work
now,
with.
There's been a couple of episodes that were amazing with him, but overall, the one where he was on his own in that repeating time thing where he had to get out, one of the best episodes of TV in history.
Wonderful.
But overall, his scripts have been so. Now, here's what I'm excited about to see Pearl Mackie as Bill. Say it with me. Bill. each doctor really doesn't come into their own till they get their own companion.
Yeah.
So we're finally get to see Capaldi come into his own, because that was, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name.
Clara?
Clara was Matt Smith's companion.
Yes.
Hers. Now, they always leave a little overlap for continuity. Yeah, this is really the doctor with this existing. But now we get to see Capaldi come into his own with his own companion.
See, I don't even think Clara was necessarily Matt Smith's as much as as Rory and...
yeah, that's true.
Those were his.
Yeah,
And then
no, that's
I feel
true.
like Clara kind of got the worst of the deal because she kind of got the end of Matt Smith and the beginning of Peter Capaldi.
Well, there's always a companion that provides overlap.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that the challenge with writing with Doctor Who is the companion is supposed to be the contrast to the Doctor's world. And when they get too mature in the Doctor's world, they got to go because they're not really providing that contrast anymore. I mean, is that a valid point?
No, it's a very valid point. It's been a pattern. It's actually been a pattern since the series started back in 2005. And every companion has either turned into like some sort of soldier or has met some grisly fate.
Right.
And like the only happy ending would have been like Rose with the Doctor duplicate in the alternate universe. Like that's
right. That's the closest happy
ending that we've had for a companion in the entire series.
Even though people love it, I don't think the Doctor should fall in love with his companions.
Absolutely
that's
not.
Me personally.
No.
But that, people loved the. What did you think?
Well, that taking that track, you start going down a whole different storyline.
Well, that's why when Donna came right after Rose, like Donna was like, "I don't want nothing to do with you. We're just hanging out."
And then
don't
you
even
get
be trying
distracted from what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was the best.
I love Donna.
100% agree.
She was the best companion.
I love Donna as a companion.
Absolutely.
And like when she was the Dr. Donna for that one brief.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love. What's her name in real life? Tate?
Catherine.
Yeah,
Tate.
she's like a comedian or a comedian or yeah. Okay,
she's very funny.
All right, so we're looking forward to Bill as Pearl Mackie is Bill in Doctor Who, and I don't think we get a new Doctor Who till 2017, and they got a new showrunner, right? So
the new showrunner Moffat is there through. I can't believe I know this.
You're such a nerd.
Moffat is there through the next season. Okay, they're taking the reason why there's no episodes this year is because the new showrunner is taking over. He has to oversee the final season that Moffat is on in case he wants to lay any groundwork for his stuff that's coming up. I think it's pretty certain that this particular season coming up is going to be Capaldi's last season. That's the rumor. It's because
I don't like that.
Because the new showrunner is going to start with a brand new Doctor.
I don't know. I like Capaldi, man. Because my favorite all-time Doctor is John Pertwee.
Yeah.
And Capaldi reminds me a lot of John Pertwee.
I think
anyway.
Capaldi got the fuzzy end of the lollipop on this because his first season was actually mostly written still for Matt Smith, and Matt Smith bailed a year.
Oh, is that
early.
what happens?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that's one of the reasons why some of his episodes in season 8 seemed a little obtuse. And possibly
I didn't realize that that's what happened.
Yeah. Not. We didn't actually get to see the real quote unquote Capaldi Doctor Who until this most recent season.
Agreed.
And the first episode of that most recent season was better than the entire 8th season in my opinion.
I wasn't a big fan of the 8th season.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Capaldi, but not the. Okay, I gotta move us on. But I thought it was funny that when you said, Matt Smith left a year early, everybody in the room nodded. Like, how did I not know this? And if he left early to go be the bad guy in Terminator Genesis,
that's why.
Boo.
Yeah. It was the wrong move.
Boo.
It was the wrong move.
So anyway, got a couple of quick news items. Then we'll go to break and work in as much as we can on this Geek News Extravaganza after the break. First of all, next Saturday, May 7th, is Free Comic Book Day. So keep that on your radar. We'll go. I love Free Comic Book Day. It's gotten to where you can get some pretty cool stuff. Of course, show sponsor, Collector's Edition in the comic book store, Michael Tierney, will participate, but other local comic book stores will also participate. So go get your free comic books and buy something while you're in there. Support these guys. And also today, April 30th, is International Tabletop Day. So that's cool.
Oh, wow.
And that's normally I do this later in the show, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now because it ties in. First of all, go to there's a link on the show notes. I think it's tabletopday.com. It's actually done by Geek and Sundry.
Yeah.
And so you can go to the website and see local participating There's like pizza joints, there's games, there's people all over the place doing this where you can go play games. But show sponsor Game Goblins today has raffle prizes every hour of exclusive Tabletop Day kit contents. They have a clearance shelf, and I went to their birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and their clearance shelf was great. They have tons of events and game demos. So, and Steve, when's RPG Day? When's Free RPG Day?
Free RPG Day is June 6th or the 20th. I get the dates all mixed up.
Are y'all participating this year?
Yeah, we participate, and I got to get my stuff to them by X date, and and I haven't done that. So.
Okay, what's it going to be this year? Can you announce?
This year we've got this really cool concept. We take a CNC adventure, and we tied it in. You get to play that for 4 or 5 pages, and then there's an amazing adventure.
Oh, cool.
That's the exact same temple 10,000 years later. So it's
cool. That's really neat. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's we're going to do some Game Goblins love, then we'll hit a break. Some goblins are your friends. Game Goblins is Central Arkansas's premier retailer of Magic the Gathering, Warhammer 40K, board games, card games, RPGs, miniatures, and hobby accessories. Call Game Goblins at 501-224-GAME or visit them online at gamegoblins.com. For all your gaming needs, I heartily recommend Game Goblins. Make sure to check out their customer loyalty program that rewards you based on your actual purchases. Game Goblins earns your business and keeps it. And by the way, they're located in West Little Rock at 1121 South Bowman, right on the corner of Bowman and Canis in West Little Rock. Get over there today on International Tabletop Day for all that cool stuff. First-time customers, mention Shane Plays and receive $10 off your purchase of $50 or more. Call Game Goblins at 501-224-GAME or visit them online at gamegoblins.com. Tell them Shane Plays sent you.
Hold on to your butts.
June 11th to 12th at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock, the River City Comic Expo is Arkansas's largest comic, toy, game, cosplay convention and now features the Little Rock Picture Show. Guests for 2016 include Neil Adams, Mike Zeck, James Aubert, Larry Hama, Michael Golden, and Arkansas's own Mitch and Elizabeth Brettweiser, John Lucas, and Dusty Higgins. You'll find booth after booth with artists and dealers representing comics, toys, books, movies, games, and so much more. So come on out to the River City Comic Expo, June 11th and 12th at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock. RiverCityComicExpo.com.
Fairly alarmed here.
Comic book lovers, visit thewildstars.com today. From the mind of author and comic book industry expert Michael Tierney, it's not just a comic book, it's a comic book novel. The Wild Stars is sci-fi and so much more. Learn the explanations behind UFOs and space gods. This isn't the Twilight Zone. This is the region of the Milky Way galaxy known as the Wild Stars. We guarantee you've never read anything like it. The complete comic book novel took 20 years to tell, with one reviewer noting, the story of the Wild Stars stretches ambitiously across space and time, from small-town murders to the destruction of planets, with every event given multiple layers of meaning. If you haven't read The Wild Stars, you're missing out. Visit thewildstars.com today.
Megawars.net. The classic online space strategy game has returned, bigger and better than ever before. Scout the universe and claim your empire. Construct, customize, and launch dozens of different starships. Battle thousands of opponents online in a team-based competition leading to the ultimate battle of the galaxies. Grab your slot today in one of the most hotly anticipated indie games of 2015. Visit megawars.net and get options only available during our pre-sale event running now. Megawars.net.
The die is cast. Plunge into worlds of fantastic adventure where dragons lie and the undead stalk the shades of your mind's imagines. Where creatures of legend plunder wealth through the horror of their passage. Monsters grim and foul hold the ecstasy of gold and the renown of glory. All this and more awaits you and your friends in the unlimited, fantastic world of the Castles and Crusades role-playing game from Trollord Games. Visit your friendly local game store or Trollord.com to get your copy today. A rules-light, adaptable game that has stood the test of time. 12 years in constant publication with no new additions, Castles and Crusades is the original, easy-to-play attribute check system. Join us and unleash your imagination. Visit your friendly local game store or Trollord.com to get your copy of Castles and Crusades today. Shane Plays Radio is blessed to have sponsors, and we appreciate them very much. However, did you know that you can also support the show as an individual for as little as $1 an episode? Simply go to patreon.com/ShanePlays.
Hey, we're back. Shane Plays Geek Talk Radio, a journey into things we love. I'm joined by Cody Waits. Cody Waits on No Man.
That's
right?
me.
That's you. Cody Waits on No Man. And you can occasionally catch Cody and I at different times on the Dave Ellswick Show. Dave will, in fact, he's invited me to come on next Friday to talk Captain America Civil War. Hopefully you'll get to join too.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm going to try to catch it Thursday night before. Of course, we're joined by Michael Brown, comedian Michael Brown, and the host of YouTube's Brain Trust.
That's right.
Yeah. And
YouTube's only pop culture comedic geek-centric live audience game show that we know of.
People go look it up, check it out, subscribe, because they're getting close to 2,000 subscribers. And when they hit 2,000 subscribers, something neat's going to happen.
Yeah, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, that's when we started launching new content like the unboxing videos.
Yeah, and you're doing reaction videos.
And the reaction videos, and those have wound up becoming the most popular videos of the channel.
Of course, yeah.
But when we hit 2,000 subscribers, then yeah, we're going to take it up to another level. So
it's funny to me how businesses, I'm not saying you should pivot.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's funny how businesses can pivot. Now, I'm not advocating Penthouse. I'm just using them as an example.
Sure.
He had like a strip joint, and then they were printing free little newsletters to promote the gentleman's club in quotes.
Yeah.
And that became so popular that he ditched the club and went and made the magazine.
I didn't know that.
So I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying it's interesting.
So should I ditch the game show and
No,
just go
I'm
all
just
reaction
saying it's
videos?
interesting when you talk to successful people how sometimes they pivoted,
Those reaction videos are huge, didn't it?
They're monstrous.
A couple of them.
They tried to copyright
They tried
it.
to copyright
Who was that tried to copyright it? Michael?
I don't know.
Do you
My son
Cody?
was telling me there's two of them.
Well, here's the thing. I like doing them because it drives more people to the channel.
Right.
And again, like 2 of our most watched videos since August have only been up on the channel for the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks,
that reaction video stuff is big.
2 of the most popular videos. But here's the
But your heart, your love is Brain Trust.
Well,
right?
my heart and my love is doing videos that I can monetize. And
a capitalist.
And I cannot monetize the reaction videos because I'm using copyright content because I show the trailer in my video.
Oh, I see. Well, there's a certain amount of fair use, but I don't know where you
it doesn't
exceed
pertain
that.
to that. So so I get
you're getting tangential ad revenue.
I'm not getting any.
What I'm
getting
saying
zero
is if you
ad
boost
revenue.
the channel, then the ads that come on. Okay.
Well, it's to drive viewers to your channel so they'll stay with your channel
Right.
and then watch all your other stuff that you do make money on. And it's basically viewer bait. And it works.
Yeah, it works. I put stuff on my channel that's viewer bait. I mean, I push the show more than I push my YouTube, but every now and then I'll have a video blow up.
Yeah.
And I got my first check from Google AdWords.
No way.
Like a week ago, and it felt really good because
That's
I've been
awesome.
working that thing for a while. And then, of course, we're also joined by Stephen Chenault from Troll Lord Games, who is not only a cool dude, but Troll Lord Games is also a show sponsor. So thanks for coming back on. And don't forget to check out their Kickstarter going around right now where they're reprinting their Monsters and Treasure. So their book combines the monsters and the treasure in one cool book. And Steven, I just saw a review. A guy did a video review of your Castle Keepers Guide.
Oh, really?
And he was really bragging on it's like one of the best books he've ever seen with real, actual good info for running a game.
Good deal. I'll have to check it out.
Not just stuffed with a bunch of tables to be in there, but like, here's how you run a game.
Yeah,
and
we put our heart and souls in a bunch of game masters.
He was bragging on that thing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was really good. I tweeted out and all that and tagged you guys. But anyway, okay. So back to the news, because this is supposedly a Geek News Extravaganza, but it's not Shane Plays if we don't fail around and get off course a little bit. So if we're not flailing, if I'm not sweating, it's not Shane Plays. So, okay, we talked about this a little bit before the show. I've got a link on the website that says, what the heck is DC Comics Rebirth anyway? And I basically said, and if you don't know, DC has been struggling in the past few years when it comes to both the cinematic universes and the comic book printed in a DC is struggling compared to Marvel. It's just, there's no, like, they lost a few million last year.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. And in addition, they personally offended me by moving to California. How can you not be in New York City, DC? That's like a part of my childhood. Like, to me, New York City is DC and Marvel growing up, right? I mean, it's just so, it's like having the Empire State Building there, and they moved to California.
But now it can be like East Coast, West Coast rap gang.
Well, let me tell you, who's West Coast? Who's East Coast? Is that Bloods or Crips?
I have no idea.
Okay.
They're both over there.
I don't know. East Coast is smoking West Coast right now. That's all I
to like three of the most Caucasian
yeah, the most
dudes
white guys ever. Yeah.
So Biggie is New York. Just
if it's East Coast, West Coast, or gang warfare or whatever you call it, East Coast is up right now.
No matter where DC is, they need to relocate because it ain't working for them.
It's not. Creatively, they need to relocate. So
maybe Nebraska or something.
I'm going to have
Warren Buffett can help them.
I think this launches in like May or June or I don't know, something. I'm going to do a full show on it around the time it comes out. But they're basically trying to have the status quo change of a reboot without rebooting because they know people will get upset if they reboot again.
Okay, give me a 30-second refresh. What did they do with 52? What was the?
Well, you had 52, and then you had the. Michael, you take that one.
No.
See,
Cody, you take that one.
If I did it, I would have to say, okay, first there was Flashpoint.
Okay.
30-second.
Well, first there was dinosaurs, and they died, and there was oil, and then the Aihrde came, and we had Mercedes.
And before Flashpoint, like, first there was Identity Crisis. Let me explain to you what happened in Identity Crisis. And then the events of Identity Crisis, then it went to Flashpoint. And then after Flashpoint, it went to the New 52 because the universe shattered, then came back together again or something. I don't know.
That's a pretty good take. That's it. That's a pretty good.
So dejected over here, just as he's saying.
Okay, so basically, once back in the day, DC did this amazing thing called Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they completely rebooted their entire continuity, and it was good.
It was good, but that's when they started to lose me as a customer. I got kind of tired of all the continuity.
GL, you kind of look like you want to jump in on this. You got anything you want to add to all this? Our man in the booth there, GL, you look kind of...
Yeah, I get anxious when y'all talk about this.
You get anxious.
I get anxious because the new 52 and the reboots, I believe, are the reason why DC is declining.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe that Marvel is at a level because
Marvel's
they're
smoking it right now.
They're killing it, and DC. Like, it's kind of like they're giving in. It's kind of like when you're in a fight and you see the dude kind of sweating a little bit and you just, kind of hit him a couple of more times. And I think that's what Marvel doing. Oh, they're rebooting and they're doing new 52s and they're doing this again and again. They're changing costumes and they're adding cell phones and all this other stuff to it. They're really killing it. So,
well, let me tell you, thanks for that incisive analysis, GL. But I love that he said he was anxious. He's getting anxious.
He's sweating.
Are you a current comic book reader, GL? Do you read it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what are you reading right now?
I am reading Flash.
Yeah. I just stopped reading that, but I kept up with it for like 2 years.
And it's because I'm so annoyed by Batman, which is what I've been dedicated to most of my life.
He's back, baby.
Exactly.
He just came back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so here's the thing. DC is, in my opinion, encountering two things. One, they don't have a good creative foundation right now as far as creative leadership. Here's what we need to do creatively. They're trying new things, and I give them that, but it's not working out. Okay. The second thing is they're running into the law of diminishing returns on people being excited by reboots. That's what I think, because it's happening more and more often and more frequently. And they're running into reboot fatigue. That's what I feel like.
How long back did New 52 start, though?
5 years ago.
It was just that 5
It
years
was 2011.
ago. Yeah, it was. Okay.
Yeah, but it's too soon for a reboot.
Yeah, so they're rebooting. Well, no, see, that's what they're doing. They're trying to have it both ways. They're doing the status quo change of the characters, but it's quote unquote not a reboot. Because they know
how is it not a reboot then?
Well, because they don't want backlash against yet another reboot.
So they're just saying it's not a reboot, but it is?
It's pretty much, as far as the creative as far as the lineup and the creative directions of the characters,
So, like, all
it's
the
a
characters
reboot.
are going to go through this new change simultaneously.
Yeah,
or something
pretty at the
else.
exact same
But
time.
it's not a reboot.
But it's not a reboot.
I can't believe it's not a reboot.
This is what I'm saying.
They need to just stop with the continuity.
What do you think, Cody?
I said it's puberty.
It's no, they're
Oh,
trying.
they've been going through that for a
way
long
past
time.
that.
It's a midlife crisis.
Yeah, there you go.
They're trying to go
It
back
really
to what worked
is.
in puberty.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is my opinion on it. I like Jeff Johns. In fact, Michael, you've got back in the day, you used to hang out with Jeff Johns on AOL.
Yeah.
When he was up and coming.
Yeah.
I like him. I like his writing.
Any one of us could have been him.
Yeah, but
he took it and ran with it. He took advantage of the fact that we were talking directly to the creators
and
of
jumped
DC
right on
Comics.
it.
He jumped right on it, and now he's in charge of everything.
I like Jeff Johns just fine. But him and is it Dan DiDio? How do you say his name? Those
Dan
two
DiDio.
need to step aside as the creative leadership, in my opinion.
And in lieu of who though?
I don't know, but I mean, it's not working. Both the cinematic universe and the print universe.
So this guy's probably just trying to recapture Crisis, is what he's trying.
Well, I salute what
he
they're-
grew up on it. It
Yeah,
was fantastic.
I guess.
it was really cool. Let's do it again.
They basically said, we've lost what makes these characters cool. Let's get back to it, which I salute that. But you
have to know what make those characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
cool
We'll
is the-
see.
is
You know
the
what?
key, and
Hopefully they'll
rebooting it
prove me
did.
wrong. In a year from now, I'll be like, thumbs up on DC. I hope they prove me wrong. But I, as a comic book reader, am getting tired of DC constantly fiddling with their status quo.
I will say if Jeff is got it, if they put Jeff's hands on the wheel and nobody else's hands are on the wheel, Jeff will straighten this whole thing out in 2 years.
Okay, cool.
I genuinely have that much confidence in him.
All right.
I've known this dude for 20 years. I genuinely think he's got it in him to.
Well,
to
I
straighten
hope
this
they
ship.
do, because DC, I love DC. I love Marvel. I love the characters.
Yeah.
I hope because I don't like to see a company that I love hurting.
Right.
But they got to do something. So anyway, and maybe this will be the shot in the arm.
Either that
I
or
don't
the
know.
move to Nebraska. One of these.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah. Come to Little Rock, guys. There's
That's
plenty
right.
of
There
good
you go.
talent here. So, okay. Boy, well, we got like 5 or 6 minutes left. Say it with me. Time is a predator that stalks us all our lives. Okay. So, moving on. I threw in some game industry stuff for Mr. Steve here. Wizards of the Coast is being sued by Magic the Gathering judges.
Yes,
we talked about this briefly before the show. Let
So
me
the
set it
idea
up.
is that the
Yeah, go ahead.
judges are being treated like employees, so they want to get the benefits of
Yeah,
employees.
they're bringing a
because they
class-
understand that comes with getting fired as well. There's two sides to that coin.
My guess is they're hoping that it'll bring enough negative pressure on Wizards of the Coast that I don't know, but they're
I can see the motivation, but it's going to just blip and go. Hasbro's a big company; they're not going to blink over.
yeah. Well, they're saying that they're volunteers, but the amount of control that Wizards of the Coast tries to have over them establishes an employee-employer relationship, and they want like travel pay, they want meal pay, and they want back wages. So
I don't.
Nobody's holding a gun to their head
Yeah,
and
that's the
making them
thing.
do this.
Yeah.
What
I
about you,
don't-
Cody?
No,
What do you think?
I agree 100%
Okay,
with
we'll
him.
move
Nobody-
on.
I feel sorry for the judges.
Can you have a class action lawsuit with 4 people, or are they doing a class action lawsuit on behalf of everybody? How does
I
that
have
work?
no idea. I am told repeatedly.
It's
Does
not
this
like
have
the-
any class?
It's not like they have a union. I mean, they can't get a consensus of all the Magic judges or whatever. And if they're going on the road and doing stuff like this, then they have to know they have to know going into it. This is a volunteer situation. You're never going to get paid for this.
Someone's
Ever,
footing the
ever,
bill, though.
All right, so moving on, real quick. I got to give a
who's
shout
paying
out.
their legal? Someone's footing the bill for their legal.
They're probably hoping that
It'll come
Wizards
back
of the
in.
Coast will, the lawyers
Or
are probably
settle
thinking
or
that,
something.
or something. All right, so got to give a quick shout out to Trollord Games here, Mr. Chenault. Fantasy Grounds usage stats are in, and Castles of Crusades, if you could see there, is doing quite well.
Holy Christmas.
Did you know
Look at-
that?
No, I didn't. I hadn't seen
you've
that. I saw last month, but
You've
I haven't
got
seen that.
2,400 games going on Fantasy Grounds right now.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Now, of course, D&D and Pathfinder are, but
Of course.
But man, you guys are out doing Numenera. You're out doing Fate. You're out doing Warhammer 40K.
I had not
You're
seen
out
those
doing
stats.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition. You're out doing World of Darkness. You're out doing Moons and Masks. You're out doing Shadowrun, D20. You're kicking a little booty there.
That's the way to do it, Crusaders. They're out there doing it up.
Go ahead, say Trozaw.
Trolls off.
Trozaw. Okay. moving on with the limited time we have left here.
Yeah, I always get worried using that word Crusaders. So
Yeah. In the context of people who play Castles of Crusades, which is a quite good game, and at the River City Comic Expo, your man Todd's going to run some Castles of Crusades there. I'm doing some organized RPG play.
I think you're setting that up with him.
Yeah, I'm working with Game Goblins to have some organized RPG play at River City Comic Expo. Okay, hopefully we can squeeze a couple, and we've done pretty good making it through most of these guys. So give yourself a round of applause.
Nailed it.
All right. Batman versus Superman inspired Marvel to make Captain America Civil War. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and I haven't
were
seen
you
it,
aware
but
of
I
that?
hear it's really good.
I not directly. Is that sourced?
They're saying that they were kicking around the idea. First of all, Cody, are you up on this?
Yeah.
Okay, what have you heard on this?
I don't know. I just feel like they're just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Just kind of just give them a.
Well, a couple of, now it's not showrunners, but it's whatever the equivalent of that is in the theater, the movie, motion picture world.
Yeah.
They basically said they were kicking around and they were lobbying to have a Civil War concept, but they didn't get the green light from the powers that be until they heard about Batman versus Superman. They said, "Yep, that's absolutely what you guys need to do.
Let's crush the competition by doing this this huge."
But they didn't get the green light evidently until DC. Now it's not like they heard about it when we're going to do the same thing, but they didn't get the green light to do it till Batman versus Superman was announced.
You know what's going to happen though?
What's going to happen?
It's going to be 10 times better.
It's going to be better. It already is. It's already open internationally. Yeah, go ahead and kill that music if you could, Jill. It's already open internationally, and it's already rocking and getting amazing reviews.
35 million.
Yeah, it's going to have better legs.
Yeah, I guess
than
it's open
Batman
in England
versus-
because my art director Peter Bradley saw it last night.
What did he say about it?
He loved it. He said, "Go see it. Go see it."
Evidently, Spider-Man's in it more than I thought, and he rocks it with Winter Soldier. So yeah, he grabs his arm and says, "You got a metal arm, cool, dude." And he's like twisting it around. All right, about to have to wrap. Real quick, and I'm going to throw this out there. We don't have time to banter on. I'm sorry, guys. The Flash movie has lost its director, and citing creative differences. And evidently, the Wonder Woman original director quit over creative differences. So what's going on over at DC? And finally, the Batman Killing Joke official trailer is out now. And Fear the Walking Dead has been renewed for season 3, which makes me. I wanted to talk about Fear the Walking Dead, but we didn't get time. It's been renewed. I'm a Strand fan. I want me some. I like me some Strand, and I like Keith, the junkie guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to wrap this. We got 20 seconds. Next week we got Shauna Germain from Monty Cook Games talking about their kids RPG. No, thank you, Evil. Cody, thank you for being on.
No, thank
Michael
you.
Brown, thank you for being on. Steve Chenault, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Shane Plays Radio. We will catch y'all next week.